Over.
What did you learn in the past 14 practices?
Well, it's becoming a new age in the winter. I think we were pretty close to 33% new players this winter as last year, and it's unique, quite frankly, to teach these kids to get to know each other and to come together as a group, trust each other. And I believe as a staff with Coach Narduzzi, some of the things that we've done, I believe we've been very successful. And I think as I watch these guys play, I don't know if you were out there for the whole practice, if any of you were, but I can see these guys having fun together, which is critical at their age. And I think we've got some new pieces that we've added that have been beneficial to us. We have some experienced guys coming back at good positions, especially up the middle. I believe football is no different than baseball. You're better when you're better up the middle, pitcher, catcher, center field, second and shortstop, that type thing. And I believe we're really good up the middle. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited for the group as a whole.
Is that 33% new guys just on defense or overall?
Just on defense, yeah. And then some of that is obviously the new freshmen come in too, but they're just as new. So,
Randy, Jerry's point, what do you need to see? Like, what are you really looking for in these type of practices from your guys?
I'm looking at players, seeing who at this point I believe will be ready by the time we get to September. We know Kyle Lewis is going to be ready, and Javon and guys like that. But the new guys, who are the playmakers, and what their strengths and weaknesses are, because the beauty of our defense is we can tailor-make our defense to who the playmakers are and change certain things based on the skill set of who we have. So the sooner we know who those guys are, the better it is for us to know what blitzes we're going to run and who's going to blitz and who's better in coverage and what coverage they're better at. Are they better in man? Are they better in zone? So those generic, I know I'm giving a kind of a generic answer, but those are critical for us this summer to kind of look where we're going to go with the fall practice and what blitzes we might not be as good at this year as last year and so forth and so on. And so, I think that's a critical part of it, and quite frankly, where the depth is, and how many we're going to have at each position, and things of that nature.
Other than those, the obvious answers, who do you feel like are some of those playmakers and people that have stepped up?
Well, I'm probably going to miss some because I don't have everybody's name in front of me here, but I believe at linebacker, Cam Lindsey came along and made great strides. Jaden Bonds, who hadn't played a lot this spring, he got hurt, but he made an interception today. And, there's one thing to be out there, another thing to be out there and making plays. And you guys have been out there. You see all the takeaway stickers, and those show me that they're playmakers. And playmakers get us to the next level. Those would be two just at linebacker. Jeremiah Marcelin has made great strides and could be one of the three starters, and if not, he will be one of the four starters, if you will, which is a good problem to have. So at linebacker, I think that is really a good sign. When you go to D-line, our three guys that came in, Jaden, help me out. Jaden Moore has been tremendous. And guys like that have come in, Blaine Spires, another one, this is a very foreign defense to them. Both those kids stood up most of the time and were 3-4 outside backers, if you will. And now they're into an NFL-style 4-3. And the quicker they understand it, the quicker and better they will be. And I think they came along very well. And so very excited about where those two guys are. And then, obviously the other kids have been here, but those two guys have come along and picked it up quickly and have made plays. So, and those two positions for us, as you know, if you make plays, you're going to play at the next level.
If Lindsay is basically a star, how do you get him on the field with Kyle Lewis on there?
Well, Kyle Lewis can't play every snap. We averaged, I would say, almost 80 snaps a game. And so Kyle is good, but when you're tired, you're not great. And so, we'll get him out there, and he can also play to the boundary and play money. And in the spring game, he'll play some money. So that's the thing that I'm more excited about, is that he isn't now just a one-position player. He's a multiple-position player, and that takes time. It's hard as a freshman, and now he's able to do that. And that gives us a great deal of flexibility, if you will, because guys are going to go down as they do in football. Safety, we're thick, as you know. Kavir Baines, come in, same thing. Picked it up quickly, not shocked at all. He made a lot of plays where he was at. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he makes plays, and he's shown that this spring. So very excited about where he's at. He gives us great depth there also. And then, I think with Battle back after spring, we'll be really good at that position also, because, we've got really the two guys that I felt really have had really good springs. Let's see. I'm thinking who am I thinking of? Drip and who's the other? Who's our freshman corner? Sean Lee. I'm sorry. I'm getting old. So, but those two kids have come out and played really well, and I would expect those guys to fight to be on the field a lot. And be great on special teams. So that gives us, a lot of depth with Battle, fighting through injury this spring. So I'm excited there too. So, yeah.
How has Cruz, kind of leveled up this spring or leveled up over the offseason since?
Cruz is a playmaker. Let's just be serious. He looks bigger every time I see him, he's got probably the most stickers on his helmet. So I would say to you this: he's got to take that to the fall. If he does that, who knows how far he'll go, because he's got that potential. He's still a fairly young guy, So that's the exciting thing with Cruz. But Cruz had a good spring. I think he's even more knowledgeable about the defense, because those two guys at safety are our captains as far as quarterbacks. They make all the calls, and there's another position, safety. If you excel at safety at Pitt, you're going to play in the NFL, and you guys know how far back we could go. We got 6 or 7 in the NFL right now, so I would expect those guys to be in those positions next year.
Do you feel like your defense is forcing more turnovers than in typical camps previously?
Well, I hope so. We're really on their case about it. One thing that we found doing statistics, and it's not anything new, but turnovers are number one on being a good defense. Number two, we found, was big plays. When we did not give up a big play within a drive, they averaged, I believe, 0.5 points per drive. When we gave up a big play within a drive, it was almost 5.5, I believe, points per drive. So it's a huge difference. So we're really worked hard on getting the ball back, taking it away, and then eliminating the big play. And I believe those are two real critical ones.
There's been a lot of talk just about offense this spring being more consistent, a lot better communicating with each other, more on the same page. But what does that say about your defense being able to still be able to defend well against that?
For sure. They're certainly a major challenge between the tempo and as multiple as they are and as deep as they are skill-wise. it's a real challenge, and it's made us better because they go fast. We have to communicate fast, and all it can do is help us in the fall in those situations.
How important has Javon in being in safety the last couple of years with so many other moving parts in the secondary? How important is he been just for the communication among
Sure.
those guys?
Well, I think the best thing with Javon is he's been there long enough. As you get older and you've played a lot of snaps, the game slows down. And for Cruz, it's not quite to where Javon is yet because of that. And so he is a stabilizing factor back there, being calm, making calls, being able to control everything. And, I think he's on par with the Eric Hallett's, Hamlin's, You guys know who those guys are we've had in the past. And when those guys have been good, we've been good, as you guys know.
And you mentioned the strength up the middle. Obviously, those linebackers made some incredible plays last year. How have they taken that experience? And you find them as hungry, and where areas you're really working with them?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that we miss the most that we don't talk about are those defensive tackles. Fitz is a tremendous football player. Francis Brew, Nick James. We have some really good D tackles. And I know, being a former linebacker coach for most of my career, when we were good up front, the linebackers made a lot of plays because I had a former boss used to call that position a shit-filled Twinkie, because all you do, don't publish that, but all you do is get the crap beat out of you, right? I mean, you get double teamed every play, and nobody sees that, but that's when the linebackers are making their plays. And so I believe we're as good, if not better, than we've been for many years at defensive tackle. So those guys, you won't hear their name probably as much, but those guys are a critical part. And when I talk about up the middle, I'm definitely talking about those guys. And they're strong, they're big, they make plays, and they help the guys behind them make plays. So that will help the linebackers. Not that the linebackers aren't making plays.
I think you said earlier you played about 80 snaps per game last season. Do you feel like as the season went on, guys like Kyle, some of the guys you were leaning on a lot, just wore down because of how much?
Oh, it's possible. That's going to happen. And we had some injuries too, so we had a few less guys. And, those guys play on special teams too. So, you're playing 70, 80 snaps. And it's not always bad. I think we might have played 90 against Syracuse. Because when you run the ball in the end zone, you got to turn right around and play defense again. So I'm not upset about that, don't get me wrong. But it does wear you out at times. And that's why, when we talk about depth, that's why it's so critical to have guys, like you said, with Kyle Lewis. Kyle can't play every snap. And so we have to have great depth behind. And if you have a huge drop when Kyle comes off, that's where you have problems. And I don't think we'll have that.
Anything else?
All right. Hey, big hand for Jerry, right?
Yep.